Hello guys and welcome back to our page I Vow Forever. As you all know, my name is Jovan.
And I'm Wendy.
And today we want to talk to you guys about expectations.
So we all enter relationships with certain expectations. Some people are aware of these expectations while many are not.
And that is the reason why we wanted to bring this video to you all, because we just realized that there's a lot of people that don't talk about their expectations at the early stages of their relationship, and then later on they run into issues.
Yeah, and expectations discussed are problems avoided. So babe, did you have any expectations early on for me?
Yes, I definitely had some expectations. And one of my expectations was that we would talk every day, like every day. And I guess the reason that now looking back at it, the reason that I expected that from you is because just all of the friendships that I had in my life at the time were friendships and people that I had talked to every day, whether it was in person, talking on the phone, video chat, whatever the case is. And so going into a relationship with you, because I was already used to that, was definitely something that I was expecting, but wasn't really the case because you were busy or you had your own life that you were living 300 miles away from me. And so that was an expectation that wasn't met because it was an expectation that was never expressed to you.
Yeah. And I think for me, on the other side of that expectation, I have friends who live out of state and that
country
and that I'm really close to, and if they text me, it's not a big deal if I don't text them back the same day. It's just understood that we're busy, we have lives to live, and I'll get back to them. It's not necessary for me to get back to them in the next 5 minutes or within the next hour. And I think that, you're right, initially it did cause some friction.
Yep. And now, I mean, it's a whole nother story, but I feel like if that was something that I would have expressed to her in the beginning of the relationship, then it would have been something we would have talked about, whether it was that something that she would follow through with, or like, hey, I'm busy some days, I might not be able to text you. And okay, I understand that. But we never talked about it, so it would cause me to question lots of things.
Yeah. And if I had known early on that he had that expectation, then I could have been more intentional on my part, knowing that, hey, okay, for me it's not a big deal if I don't answer him within the next hour or so, but for him it does matter. So let me put in an effort to say something like, hey babe, I can't talk right now, or I'll text you back later this evening or something, just kind of to keep him in the loop.
So babe, what is an expectation that you had of me in the beginning of our relationship?
So, for those of you who don't know, Jovan is excellent at doing administrative work. And because he was so amazing at doing administrative work and keeping things organized and making sure things ran smoothly, I figured that he would also be great at administering finances.
I was
We found out really quickly that wasn't the case.
Yes, but I have a great partner in life who really tightened the reins and helped me to be a better financially savvy person, and so because of that, in the beginning stages of our relationship, now into our married life, I handle all of the finances, and I'm so proud to say thankful for my wife because of that. And you know, I have a spreadsheet, we're budgeting, we are saving more than we were in the beginning, which we weren't really saving any because I was a spender and she was the saver. So everything's going good now, and really excited about that.
Yeah. So next we're going to discuss some expectations held in different stages of the relationship
that really aren't mentioned.
So the first stage we're going to dive into is dating. So one common expectation that's not always fully mentioned is PDA. And for those of you who don't know, PDA means
public display of affection. But it's something you want to talk about because one person might be expecting to show lots of PDA while the other doesn't like it or doesn't want to.
So on the topic of PDA, we had two different perspectives on PDA early on in our relationship. That caused a lot of conversation.
Why?
So for me, I was okay with showing some affection in public. Not too much, obviously, but a decent amount, I would say. Not an indecent amount, a decent amount. And Jovan was...
I don't really know how to explain it, but I was not very... I'm a very affectionate person, but just in the beginning stages of our relationship, I wasn't really all about PDA. Because of the stance that I held in the church that I attended, and I was heavily involved in ministry, and I just felt like I needed to portray this image, even when I was out in public, because you never know who was going to see me. That was my mindset.
And so what I thought was a harmless kiss on the lips, nothing too passionate, just a quick peck. For him was like, oh my gosh, we can't do this right here. Like, this is not okay. So.
But now I'm heavily involved in PDA.
This is true.
She tells me to stop.
This is accurate, yes. So it really goes to show you how relationships evolve and our expectations actually evolve along with the relationship itself.
So the next expectation is who's going to pay on dates? Is it going to be you or is it going to be me?
In our relationship, in our dating stage, I had no problem paying on a date. It wasn't a big deal. I know there's women out there who are like, the man pays every time. I know there are men out there who are like, my girl is never gonna pay, and that's okay. If you both share that expectation and it works for you, do it.
I had no problem letting her pay for the dates because my finances at the time, I was taking her to McDonald's. She was getting me hotel rooms, so there you have it.
Just to clarify that last statement, she lived in West Palm Beach, I lived in Gainesville, so she would pay for my hotel room to go and visit her in West Palm Beach. So he would have a nice place to stay while he was visiting. To myself. Yes.
Next on the list is when do you meet the parents? For some couples, the expectation is really early on. For other people, it's kind of not
after you say I do.
Maybe not that long, but not until it's really serious.
Yeah.
And different couples have different time frames for when it gets serious.
And it all depends on how serious you are. So in our relationship, we both met parents early on because we knew early on that this was a really serious relationship. So now we're moving on to the next stage of the relationship, which is the engagement period. And the first expectation is how soon is too soon? And no, we're not talking about sex here. That is for a future video, so stay tuned to watch for that one.
What we're actually talking about is marriage. For engaged couples, how soon will the marriage happen? For some couples, they might feel like, hey, 6 months is enough. We know we want to be with this person. Let's go ahead and get marriage. While there may be other reasons why you want to have an extended engagement, and that could be just personal reasons, school, maybe family traditions say, hey, at least 1 year of engagement. So there's a lot of things to consider. So that's maybe one of the conversations that you might want to have with your significant other.
you definitely want to talk about it. It doesn't matter how long you're engaged for, but as long as you two are both on the same page, then you won't have any problems.
So the next expectation for the engagement phase is who is going to pay for the wedding?
So there's so many questions that go along with this expectation, and there's so many things to consider, like the culture, tradition. Are you gonna go with the wife's parents paying for the wedding? Are the both parents gonna provide and pay for the wedding? Is the extended family gonna help out? Are you gonna have padrinos if you're Latino or Hispanic?
Or
are you guys on your own for this wedding? Is it just you and me and the little $300 we got in the saving account? We're gonna figure this out. Definitely something you guys want to talk about to see where you're at and if you guys are on the same page in that aspect as well. And so now we are moving on to our final stage of relationship, which is the married stage. And so our first expectation is, where do you spend the holidays?
So for us, this was somewhat of an easy thing to discuss. For example, Christmas for us, my family spends it on Christmas Eve. We celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. We open presents, we eat, everything is done on Christmas Eve. And for him, his family celebrates Christmas Day, so it was a pretty even split. But when it came to Thanksgiving, that was hard. We were actually running around to 3 different houses just because of all the family that we needed to see, and we felt
overwhelmed just because my family is in one part of the state, her family is in another part of the state, and so it's like we gotta go here, then we gotta go there, then we gotta go there, all in the span of a few hours because nobody has Thanksgiving breakfast.
So next on marriage expectations is gender roles.
Yes, and this is a big topic, I think, especially in this day and age, because everything is like, that's what a man does, that's a woman's job. The woman should stay home and raise the kid while the man goes out and work, and people are like bringing old traditions into the new day and age. And right away in our relationship, we knew that we were not a gender role tradition kind of relationship, especially in the beginning. Wendy would pay for a lot of the dates because she was more financially able to do so. But even coming into marriage, we realized that it's not like she washes the dishes and she does the laundry and I'll do the housework and, be the handyman around the house and stuff. We just, whoever happens to do it, we do it. She'll wash clothes sometimes, I wash clothes sometimes. I wash the dishes sometimes, she washes the dishes sometimes. Now she does do a lot more of the cooking, but there are times where I'll cook too. So who do you expect to do what when you get married and when you guys are living together as a married couple? Or who's gonna wash the dishes? Who's gonna do the clothes?
Yeah.
When you have kids, if somebody wants to stay home, who's that gonna be? I'm okay with being a house dad, and she knows that. I told her that all the time.
Yes, yes, I hear it all the time. Because you may have come from a family that had very traditional gender roles. I know I did, and my mom, for the longest time that I can remember, she didn't work. Her job was to stay at home and care for the kids, and that worked for my parents. But I know that if I were to stay home, I would lose my mind. So we hope you enjoyed our video on expectations. We hope you learned something, and if you didn't, we hope you found a topic that you might explore further. We will be posting up some couples assignments that can work for your dating stage, engagement stage, marriage stage, any stage really that you're in a relationship. And look out for that. We're going to post it on Wednesday.
Yes, be on the lookout for that for Wednesday. We're calling it Workshop Wednesday just because we want to make it something applicable to your relationship. It's going to be something that you're going to be able to look at, whether it's questions, conversation starters, things like that. But it's all going to be surrounding the topic of expectations because we want you guys to start applying everything we talk about to your relationship. Again, whether you're dating, engaged, or married. So that's today's video. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We love you guys. Continue to look out for the content that we will be releasing. It's going to be things that bless your lives, hopefully.
Yes.
And so we love you guys. Thank you for watching.